There are a lot of, can I say the word? Dicks out there.
Work with me here, people.
Good morning, everybody. Just out here waiting on Tom to come get me. Nikki's headed off to orientation for her new job. She's really nervous, not so much for the new job, but she has a pretty good clientele built up at her current salon, and she's just worried that none of them are going to follow her. Plus, she's got to try to get all them, a hold of them somehow, and that's frowned upon in that salon. That's usually why, as she talked about yesterday, they usually don't even, when you put your 2 weeks notice in for a competitor, they usually will just let you leave right away. They don't usually let you finish out your 2 weeks because they're afraid that you're going to steal their clientele. I don't consider it stealing. You've earned those clientele and you've earned the right to let them follow you. But yeah, so she's worried about that and the fact that she gets really good tips for the most part from this salon. And so yeah, she's just worried about getting more per hour but losing money because of the tips. I told her, you've got to make a decision. She's got the next 2 days off anyways from her current job, and she's got the orientation these next 2 days. So she'll have to make a decision in those 2 days. We're headed to go look at a car. If all goes well and it's the way it's supposed to be, we'll be taking it home. And I'll be getting it for less than I wanted to spend, and I'll have money to put into it.
And then you'll have your own ham car.
It's a 92 Mercury Marquis. Same thing as the Ford Crown Vics. You were getting on my nerves. You were getting shut up for a minute. I love the Crown Vics, so this is about as close as I'm going to get to one without spending a lot of money. Got to drive a little bit of a ways, not too far, to Winterset, Iowa to go look at it. Didn't think we were going to get it. I've been talking to the guy all day. He's like, yeah, you definitely come get it. Yeah. Told him I was getting off at 5. I'd be calling him when I got off. Called him, was like, oh, well, I got a guy coming to look at it. He'll be here in like 15, 20 minutes. I'm thinking, dude, I've been talking to you since 9 o'clock this morning about this car. Anyways, he had another car for sale, which was a Taurus, which I did not want. And the guy that came to look at the Marquis ended up getting the Taurus. So the guy called me just a little bit ago and said, hey, if you still want it, come get it. So I'm going to go get it. Well, I'm going to look at it and hopefully get it if everything runs okay. The guy that's selling it is a mechanic. So the nice thing about that is he would tell me right up front. Well, you'd hope he'd tell you right up front. Everyone can be dishonest if they want to. But yeah, it's got 124,000 miles on it, so it's pretty low mileage for that old of a car. I think you were 9 years old when this car was coming out, Nate. I was 12. On a more somber note, of course, by the time you guys see this, it'll be a couple of days afterwards, but the bombing happened today in Boston during the Boston Marathon. Our thoughts definitely go out to everyone affected by this. I don't know, it reeks really bad of Timothy McVeigh, Oklahoma City bombing. If any of you watching were born before 1994,
I remember that. Didn't he kill a bunch of kids?
if you don't know who Timothy McVeigh is, Google it. He basically built a bomb out of manure and a bunch of other stuff inside of a U-Haul truck parking next to a federal building downtown in Oklahoma City, blew it up, took out the building, the whole building just collapsed, and I think there was a daycare center in there, that's what it was. Killed quite a few people. I don't remember the numbers. I'm not going to even attempt to try to think of what they were. I don't even remember what year it was. I don't know if it was 92, if it was 93 or 94. I know the World Trade Center had a bomb set off in the basement of it by some terrorists in 93. Didn't really hurt it too bad. But Oklahoma City, I don't remember what year it was. But to me, it smells like homegrown and not some foreign terrorist. And the reason I say that is just because it happened on Patriots Day. Today's Patriots Day in Boston. A lot of misinformation. This is the time, right when things happen, that so much misinformation comes out that it's hard to really get the right information. I was listening to police scanners all day at work when this happened to get a little more better information. If you listen to some of the police scanners recordings from the day that the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting happened, you'll hear some interesting stuff that you never heard about in the news. Just look it up on YouTube, you'll find it. So yeah, I don't know. If it's homegrown, it sucks. If it's not homegrown, it sucks. No matter what, it sucks. So far, they've only showed that 2 people have died. One of those was an 8-year-old, though, that was put out by the Boston Globe just a little bit ago. They said there's a lot of amputations going on right now. I guess the bombs went off right at the finish line in the crowds, so a lot of people were there today. As the radio was talking about earlier, today's Patriots Day, like I said. A lot of people took the day off. A lot of people were out and about in the city at Red Sox game, at marathon. It's going to be a while before they get a lot of really solid answers. So we'll see what happens. But again, I just wanted to address that. And like I said, I know this is going to be 2 days after it happened. There may be some more information by the time this comes out.
Sad the little kid had suffered because of some of the actions.
Yep. And everyone's quick to blame, oh, it's going to be a terrorist from the Middle East. You don't know that.
You know, I'm getting really tired because you know what? There are a lot of, can I say the word? Dicks out there. A lot of people who...
I guess you can say it. If I don't want you to, I'll bleep it out.
They don't think about, like, you don't think about, well, what if you kill a kid? You have no remorse. I personally think those people should be put to death, but I'm not God, so they'll meet their maker when it's time.
Well, so the car was a bust. We got out there. It drove great. The interior was spotless. There was no issues driving it really. It made a little bit of a sloshing noise whenever we'd accelerate. It was coming from right around where the engine coolant container was. I don't know if it was low and it was just what we were hearing sloshing around. That wasn't as much of a deal as, to me at least, the driver's side windows broke. It doesn't go down. There was 2 pieces of wood holding as a shim the window from falling down. It needs a new resistor, which is about $100 for the part. 75 to 100. We're still considering getting it. It's just, the guy said he's a mechanic. He offered to fix the part if we agreed on a certain price, which was the max that I was going to give him, which is where we agreed at. So we're just going to kind of sleep on it, think about it. The car had really low miles, and like I said, it drove perfectly fine. I really had no issues driving it. So yeah, we're going to just sleep on it, see what we can come up with. I don't know, it sucks because it was a really nice car, and it just, not having the driver's side window, the ability to roll it down ever, and the fact that if those shims ever came out, that window's going to just drop and could just shatter inside the door, and then I'm out a window. Don't have a lot of extra money to put into the car. It needs pretty much all new tires. The guy told me that the front ones are about 50% and the back ones are about 25%. I'd say all 4 are less than 25%, so I'm going to have to get some new tires. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But anyways, I want to tell you guys good night. It's been a long night driving back and forth to Winterset. I just want to say thank you for liking, thank you for subscribing. Have a good night. We'll see you guys tomorrow.